We see Eddie Brock standing on top of a building. He tells Captain America that the god of symbiotes has arrived. He then rushes towards his son to see him one last time. After that, all the Avengers are ready to face Knull. In the sky, Tony Stark detonates bombs that kill many of Knull's symbiote dragons. But there are too many. Surprised, Tony wonders what to do next. In another scene, we see Eddie try and protect his son by locking him in a room that nobody can break through. Elsewhere, the Avengers and the X-Men are fighting Knull's army. When the third wave of the attack begins, Venom goes to the core where Knull sits and controls everyone. He thinks he can take control, and when he sits on the throne, he can see and hear what everyone is doing. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange is also fighting his best against Knull's army. Eddie then sees more symbiotes, even bigger than the Hulk, coming to Earth. Finally, Knull himself arrives, saying, "I am looking for a guy named Brock." In the next scene, Captain America orders a retreat, but Knull mocks them. "How nice of you to throw a welcome party." When Knull asks who they are, Captain America gives Sentry permission to introduce himself. However, Knull instantly kills Sentry as revenge for the death of Carnage. Everyone is in shock. Knull captures every Marvel hero and covers the entire Earth with his symbiotic layer. Having lost all hope, Tony can't see a way out. Eddie wonders what to do and decides to give Knull what he wants. In the next scene, Eddie and the Venom symbiote talk, agreeing to be last dance partners. Eddie says, "Let's go meet our maker," but Knull catches him head on, rips the Venom symbiote from his body, and throws Eddie from the top of a building. After falling from the building, Eddie is half dead. Spider-Man arrives and pleads for help, but Eddie can only keep talking about his son. Nearby, Knull grows frustrated and says, "How hard is it to kill one man?" He then proceeds to convert the captured Avengers into his own symbiote army. Just then, the Human Torch flies in to help Spider-Man, taking on the entire symbiote-controlled Avengers team by himself. This gives Spider-Man enough time to get Eddie to the Fantastic Four's headquarters, where Jane Foster is already waiting. Spidey then goes to find Eddie's son, Dylan, explains what happened, and brings him to see his father. There, we see the remaining heroes, the Fantastic Four, Black Panther, and some of the X-Men holding a meeting. In the next scene, Namor becomes angry. "My people have been fighting for millions of years, and you are losing," he shouts, demanding a plan. "I have one," Tony Stark replies, "but you're going to hate it." He explains that they need Eddie to shut down Knull, and the only thing that can save him is another symbiote. Tony declares he will get one for Eddie. The scene changes. Namor dives into the sea to awaken old allies for help. Blade goes to ask Dracula for assistance, and other heroes scatter to gather more forces. Elsewhere, Iron Man is fighting a symbiote dragon to capture it. He succeeds, but his suit gets partially infected in the process. He returns to the symbiote and gives it to Eddie, but this time, things don't go as planned. Seeing his father in excruciating pain, Dylan unleashes a hidden power and instantly destroys the new symbiote. Everyone is left in shock as they witness Dylan's abilities. Then, suddenly, Eddie dies. We get a glimpse inside Eddie's mind, which has become a void of darkness. We see a light shining in the all-consuming darkness. Dylan is crying over his father's death while the Fantastic Four and other heroes fight off the symbiote-controlled Avengers. The heroes decide that saving Dylan is their first priority. Just then, a symbiote version of Captain America attacks Dylan. Overcome with anger, Dylan instinctively destroys the symbiote, and we see Knull get hurt by the feedback. Realizing where the boy is, Knull tries to capture him with a giant symbiote hand. But before it can reach him, a bolt of lightning strikes from the sky, piercing through Knull's hand. We see our favorite god of thunder, Thor, with his hammer Mjolnir. He introduces himself to Dylan, who replies, "Just have my back. With a little lightning help, I can do this." Dylan then uses his powers to free every Avenger from their symbiote control. Seeing this, Knull becomes furious and decides to go after the boy himself. But Thor stands in his way. Thor and Knull introduce themselves to each other before launching devastating attacks. Knull gains the upper hand, grabbing Thor by the neck and pinning him down. Dylan rushes to help but is swatted aside and becomes entangled by a symbiote. Seeing this, Thor gets up and kicks Knull away. Now enraged, Thor declares, "I've killed 100 like you before," and unleashes a powerful attack. Crocodile Mem. That completely shatters Knull's jaw. However, Knull retaliates by summoning his army of symbiote-infected Celestials and his powerful sword, all black, the Necro Sword. He shouts that everyone will burn as he pierces Thor through the chest with the blade. Reed Richards screams over the comms for someone to get the kid out of there. Tony Stark, now controlling the symbiote infection he acquired earlier, replies, "I got it," and manages to take down 2 of the Celestials. We see Dylan Brock surrounded by Knull symbiotes. Knull appears before him, not to hurt him, but to tempt him. He tells Dylan that he possesses something special and offers him immense power if he joins him, threatening to destroy the entire planet if he refuses. Dylan defiantly takes Knull's offer hand and says, "You killed my dad." He then unleashes his power, using Knull himself as a conduit to disrupt the symbiote hive mind and free the captured heroes, including the Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, and Thor. At that moment, Black Cat, Felicia Hardy, returns Doctor Strange's magical staff. With his power restored, Doctor Strange transforms into a stronger form and telepathically links all the heroes, telling them to unleash their powers at the same time on his mark. In another scene, Namor attacks with his aquatic allies while Thor and Storm combine their powers to create a massive, lightning-filled tempest that batters Knull's forces. Dylan's power weakens Knull, but the Dark God manages to grab hold of the boy, taunting him. "You think you can beat me, kid? There's nobody who can save you." Suddenly, Knull feels a powerful psychic presence and demands they reveal themselves. "My name is Jean Grey." She says, "Let's see what makes you bleed." She uses her telepathy to force Knull to relive his violent past, but her powers are not strong enough to hold the God of the Abyss for long. As her psychic hold falters, Jean senses another entity trapped within the darkness. The God of Light, also known as the Enigma Force, which Knull had imprisoned long ago. At that exact moment, the Silver Surfer arrives, drawn by the light. He absorbs its power, transforms, and smashes through Knull's symbiote barrier covering the Earth, bestowing the power of the light upon the heroes. Reed Richards recognizes this cosmic energy signature. The light, the uni-power, chooses a host to become the new Captain Universe, a resurrected Eddie Brock. The issue opens with a Silver Surfer, now wielding a sword made from his board, confronting Knull. "We have met before, Surfer," Knull says. The Surfer replies, "Yes, and I remain unimpressed, Knull." He declares that there is another god on the planet now, the God of Light. Knull scoffs. No matter how fast light travels, there will always be darkness waiting. They both draw their swords, ready to clash, but are interrupted when the full force of the assembled Avengers charges Knull. Suddenly, a new figure descends from the sky. It is Eddie Brock, resurrected by the God of Light and transformed into the new Captain Universe. Now as Venom, he wields both Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and the Silver Surfer's swordboard, which emerges into a giant, glowing battle axe shaped like the Venom symbol. Thor and the Surfer look on in shock as Venom tells the other heroes to stay back and protect the innocent. "Knull killed me once," he says, "but there is no reason to think he can do it again." Venom launches a devastating attack, shredding through Knull's symbiote dragons. Knull attempts to escape into the shadows, but it's no use against the power of Captain Universe. Growing desperate, Knull sneers, "You know nothing of darkness. Let me remind you," and sends a symbiote-controlled Celestial to attack. Venom decapitates it in a single swing. "I don't need a reminder," he retorts. During the fight, Spider-Man can be heard complaining, "I hate symbiote stuff," as he battles a dragon. Venom remembers everything Knull did to him. In a final decisive move, he rips the Knull symbiote from its host, just as Knull had done to him, and throws the Dark God onto a rooftop. Though defeated, Knull manages to speak, vowing that darkness cannot be killed and that he will live on inside Dylan. As he tries to escape Earth, Venom catches him. "I don't care," Eddie says. "This is for Dylan." He flies Knull into the sun, using the full force of the uni-power to vaporize him completely. With the battle over, Blade and his allies finish off the remaining vampires, who are vanquished by the returning sunlight. Thor and Silver Surfer get their weapons back As Eddie flies down from the sky. When asked if Knull is dead, he replies, "Yeah, more or less," before rushing to his son and giving him a hug. Dylan reveals that a piece of the Knull symbiote is still inside him, but Eddie uses his cosmic power to remove it for good. Just after the Uni power leaves Eddie, his own Venom symbiote rebonds with him, and the now freed symbiotes across the universe recognize him as their new leader. With dragon-like wings, Eddie Brock flies into the air, no longer just Venom, but the new King in Black. The story ends here. Follow for the new series, and give a like, follow, and subscribe for new videos.